back to the weekly, the weekly ABTA Tuesday Night Live, where we sit at the intersection of theory and application and bring it to you the only way we know how. No politics and no nonsense. Today we are joined by veteran of the show, Megan Schmidt, in my upper right corner, and ABTA Mentor Director Emily Nail in my bottom right. I presume that's where she is for everybody else too. And then traveling man Kenny Mullins, coming back from some exotic fishing extravaganza or some kind of cockamamie story that he conjured up. No, I'm thinking he's driving back. So Megan and Emily, thanks for joining, guys. I'm excited to talk about this one today.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yes, of course. So, as I introduced, Emily is the ABTA Mentorship Director. Megan is the chairman of the Mentorship Committee. And the two of them, in conjunction with the rest of the committee and some input and support, I should say, some support from other members of the organization, have assembled what I consider to be a very good mentorship program for newer trackers. It's very well developed and developing. This is we just launched it. Emily and Megan and team have done just a fantastic job of putting together the foundation. And what we want to do today is just talk about it. Just talk a little bit about what it's about. Hopefully we get some good questions, comments, and feedback here. I need to sign up for the mentor program, Chuck Darby says. And we'll talk about, where we're at, the pretty warm reception when it was launched and kind of current needs and vision for the future. Does that sound good, guys?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. So Emily has prepared a script. So I'm going to do
It killed me.
To throw her off script. No, like I said, guys, it's just four people talking about cool things. It's nothing more than that. But the stuff is really cool and the content's really good. So look, I'll don't let me get in your way, Emily. I'm going to throw it to you. And hold on. Let me do one other thing because I don't want to forget at the end. Real quick. We are just mere. You can count the number. You can count them in days now before the Iowa event. And this is important. I want to get that plug in there. The Iowa event is a week from Saturday. We will be doing testing on Friday, a week from Friday. So September 12th, 13th, and 14th, that Friday, Saturday, Sunday for testing and seminar on Saturday the 13th only. It is not too late to register for the seminar. There are some limited test slots available. But we are not accepting any more. We don't have any advanced level test slots available. So no finish level, but we can squeeze in some started and season level tests. So those in the greater Iowa area, or feel like traveling to the greater Iowa area, like me and Kenny and Ethan and others, it is not too late. Please go to AmericanBloodTrackers.org. You can register for the event there. It's our finale. We're closing out our seminar season. Kenny's season will already be open. I will be out there during our youth season, and then I get a break before October 1 hits Full Tilt Boogie. So we're up on it, man, and we're closing out our seminar season in Iowa, and it's going to be a good one. Registration is pretty good right now. Test registrations are pretty solid. But please, guys, it's not too late. If you have questions, reach out to the Iowa Blood Trackers Association or me, and We'll set you straight, guys. Would love to see you. So I had to get that plug in, guys. I'm sorry, 'cause I didn't want to forget. So Emily, the
Yes.
mentorship program. You have done some fantastic work. You and the committee have done some fantastic work bringing this thing to life. And I'd love to just have you guys tell us about it, and spare no gory details, or spare us all of the gory details, and I'll pull them out from you. Whatever we need to do. Tell us about it, you guys.
Okay. So the mentorship program was built for one reason, and that's to grow the next generation of trackers. We've all seen it, folks on social media asking, how do I get into tracking? And sure, the books and videos help, but they only go so far. Honestly, some of the advice out there makes me cringe, and that's exactly why we built.
Well, you mean Facebook isn't an extraordinarily good source for information on
It can be.
in any field?
It can be.
It can
So
be. Okay.
with the program, it gives apprentices a real structured way to learn it. It connects them with experienced mentors who can guide them, teach them, and show them what a strong team can accomplish. And it creates a community where knowledge gets passed forward, not lost. This is about leaving a legacy. We want our apprentices to grow into confident, ethical trackers who will carry this craft into the future. But make no mistake, though, apprentices are expected to show up, ready to learn, respect their mentors' time, and put in the work. There's no shortcuts in this program. And look, this is a brand new program. It'll grow, it'll improve, and we'll figure some things out along the way. But one thing I know for sure, it's going to change the game for a lot of new trackers. I know when I started out, I didn't have any knowledge of this. All I could find was stuff I found on the internet, and my dog became a good dog in spite of me, because if I could mess it up, I messed it up. And some people that are real good friends of mine now, kind of, I guess they felt sorry for me. They called me, took me under their wing, and they showed me the ropes. Basically, you're dumb, quit doing that, do this instead. And it's got me where I am today. So instead of people having to struggle, instead of them guessing, instead of them leaving deer in the woods, we want to provide that foundation that they can build on.
Yeah, and Kenny, you went off mute, so you got something to add, buddy. So please go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, it's a daily thing. Just today, I took maybe 2 minutes to get on Facebook while I was out fishing, and first thing I see is a post, someone asking for advice or new getting into tracking, looking at how to train a dog, and this particular post had 18 comments at the time, and 16 of them were bad advice. And when you're new, you don't know what you don't know, and you don't know what to filter out. So this is going, definitely, like Emily said, it's definitely going to be a game changer for people.
Yeah, I think so too. And that bad advice, I want to make sure we're clear. We're not being critical of anybody. I think they believe it is trying to be helpful. There are always people who are taking shots and not being productive. But I think a lot of the advice that we see, although maybe not as helpful as intended, they intended it to be, but I do believe a lot of times that their intent is pure. It's just based in, what they know or what they grew up with, what grandpa told them. My grandpa, boy, he used to get offended. It was almost comical, if there was some, something that he understood from when he grew up, but that wasn't factual, but it was just the legend. Ooh, he did not like to hear that wasn't necessarily the case. And I think some of that happens. That happens to everything,
I'm glad you put it that way, because that's how I should have put it, because it's not like they were intentionally trying to steer someone wrong, but in the end, it was steering someone in a direction that would have caused deer to be left in the woods, frustration. That's the biggest thing. If we want to grow what we're doing, you don't want people to get frustrated because they're going backwards. And
Yeah.
that's what
Well,
this will help with.
so let me rephrase. If you don't have the foundation, anatomy knowledge, the dog behavior and everything, if you have that knowledge, most of the advice I see is, you can use and build off of. But for somebody that's brand new coming into this,
Yeah.
they don't know. They don't know, so they may misinterpret what you're trying to tell them.
No,
So
you're 100% right, Emily. Yeah, and I wasn't being critical for your framework, but go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this program in the education manual, which all apprentices will get, it frames up the basic knowledge: hit site analysis, deer anatomy, wait times, how to use your GPS, canine behavior. It kind of lays all that out, so at least you have that foundation, and then use that foundation to interpret the advice that you're given.
That was an extremely good way of clarifying all of that. Yeah. And I've seen the educational material, and I keep calling it educational material, but that's what it is. It's extremely good stuff. It's widely accepted stuff in our field, and it's foundational. And some of it might even be a little beyond foundational. I don't want people to think that this is so Dick and Jane stuff that if that we're going to be beyond it if they've already tracked for 1 year, because there's some good stuff through it. As I was reading through, because we pulled that stuff from our educational library, and as I was going through that stuff, stuff that had been assembled over the years for various events by various ABTA members and others. Like, wow, that I always pick up something too. So the material is really good, and it's foundational for sure, but it is more than foundational. It'll build the foundation, and then you can build on it and then continue to apply it with new experiences. So it's good stuff.
It also incorporates the science of the scent, which I think as a new tracker coming into this hobby that we all have now, there's not a lot out there as far as education on how scent works if you're not directly, already involved in that. Like if you came from like AKC scent work trials, you know a little bit more about it, but coming like from a hunter into a tracking position like most of us have done, there's a lot that goes into how to be able to read your dog based off the way that the scent is traveling also, whether it's in pockets or cones or the disturbed earth, and the different pheromones that the deer put off throughout the track. It dives into a lot of stuff that some people might overlook when they're first starting out if they don't have any experience in that. And I think that's really awesome that Emily put that in there, because that's my favorite thing about tracking. I'm kind of a nerd when it comes to that, but the scent and how dogs process it, I think it takes a lot more understanding. But once you understand it, it definitely helps you with your relationship with your tracking dog.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And Emily, I don't mean to keep hijacking the conversation here, but Megan said something that sparked a thought with me that I've started to really, in the last year or so, it really started to sink in with me is how understanding scent and how scent moves really directly impacts, or can directly impact, how patient you are when the dog is doing the work. I was the guy early on when I had some really good mentors, I will tell you that, in my Michigan Deer Tracking Network, and I was really fortunate. And one of them just you spoke to today, Emily, and I'm glad that he has applied to be a mentor, because we are better for it. But I was the guy that would be too quick to think my dog doesn't know what she's doing and go back to the line. I was talking to somebody here a month and a half or so ago who said the same thing. After understanding scent theory and how scent moves, it allowed him the patience to let his dog work it out. He said before that, he would have just quickly, taken a dog and went back. Well, you're pulling the dog out of the odor and you're depriving then the dog of the opportunity to develop the problem solving that it was doing. So people tend to confuse. I see it all the time on Facebook, oh, my dog really struggled here. Then they have the overlay and I'm like, man, that's just the dog problem solving. That's beautiful. Because it's struggling where it should be. It wasn't struggling on a straight line. It wasn't struggling at all. It was problem solving. So if you can understand that, what the scent is doing, then you can allow that dog to problem solve. And this will, Megan, to your point, talking about that scent and how scent moves and how a dog, interprets that scent and takes in the scent and all of the things, it can really help you be patient, and that will flatten your learning curve. None of this mentor program is going to eliminate a learning curve, because you've said it, you must do the work. But this mentorship program and some of the educational material and the process within it is part of the work, but you can flatten those curves because you can have the understanding that will make you better faster. But you're not going to get any better at all if you don't do the work. I'm sorry. Again, I hijacked and rambled.
Well, I want to add something on that, Matt. You did really good on touching on that. As you know, I'm kind of the science nerd when it comes to scent science and all that.
All I heard was your nerd. Yep, go ahead.
Yeah. I get a lot of people that says, oh, I don't need to know that. Well, the minute you discredit the science of scent and scent theory is the minute you hold yourself back. Because like you talked about, one of the big things that I see all the time is, oh, the dog's not nose to ground. The dog's working off the line. When I need to correct this, I need my dog nose to ground. Well, if you understood what is going on with scent, you would understand that that's natural. It's not always just about breed or breed tendencies. It's also where is that scent at? That's right.
Yeah. But I also want to add, it's hard when you're a new person and you're watching experienced dogs run, overlays be posted, or you're anxious to see your dog do something. It's hard to be patient and not want to intervene with your dogs, with whatever it is your dog is doing. That 700-yard line I ran the other night with my dog, it took her 55 minutes. We did it after dark. It took her 55 minutes. And I leaned on a lot of trees, while she just worked it out. She come back and looked at me a couple of times, and I just looked at her, and she said, okay, went back to work, and she worked out a couple of things. So it's just that patience. And I did not have that patience early on. Had I had a mentorship program to the depth and to the structure that you have developed, Megan and Emily, I would have been more patient early. So go ahead, Emily or Megan. I keep hijacking that, and I'm sorry.
No, you're good. My first year, I was the queen of restart, and it's a wonder my dog just didn't haul off and maul me. I'm gonna be honest, because I was over handling and micromanaging and check here and do this and do that, and Lord knows he should have just quit on me. But now I know better, and so this program will hopefully keep other new trackers from making those same mistakes.
Yeah.
And if they do make the same mistakes, they can easily and quickly recognize.
Yep. Well, and
they don't have the support.
That's exactly where I was going, Kenny. So even so, they have their mentor that we'll have you talk about the mentors themselves and whatever here in a bit. But they'll have their assigned mentor that when they're on their practice line and they're like, what? Boom. Call him. Maybe you can get him or write it. Hey, I'm going to be running the line. Will you be available between 3 and 5 in case I want to call you or something, or but it gives you that direct connection. It gives you that foundational information, and then that direct connection to have real-time conversations. It's just good stuff.
I don't know about how you guys started, but a little background on myself. In 2020, I started with a little short-haired dachshund named Fern with a dog bone deer tracking starter kit.
Mhm.
So that is how much I did not know about this whole world that we're in now. And it took me 2 years of struggling through that. And then I got Briar in April 2022 and went to my first Tracklahoma event. And that was when I really realized, like, I did not go about this process the way that I probably should have to begin with. So I kind of self-appointed myself a mentor here in Oklahoma, and the Jaggers, Carolyn and James, and they've been absolutely a godsend as far as helping me. And they're very versed on how scent works and travels and moves, and that is really, even just in this last year, brought, I think, our tracking to the next level. Just realizing what they've been telling me, the last few years with them, helping me and us laying lines together and stuff, that has been a phenomenal resource for me, because I'm able to read, all my different dogs a lot easier. And it's just kind of been like a weight lifted off my shoulders to know that
Sure.
there's lots of people here that I can call, because, our state doesn't have something like that set up yet. So it does, I think it just provides like a comfort zone, because that, hey, if I'm struggling with this, I can reach out. I don't have to try and search through the internet and figure out which person is telling me the right thing to do or not. Like, these are trusted people that have experience, who've been there, done that, and now they're willing to give their time for the next generation of trackers. And I just think it's going to be a really awesome program once it, all the little greasy wheels are squeaked and all of that. I think it's going to really blossom into something awesome.
Yeah, it sure could. Go ahead, Emily.
I wanted to talk a little bit about how it's going to work.
Yeah.
So the mentor will be assigned to the apprentice. He'll reach out. They'll kind of, get to know each other. The mentor will ask some questions, talk to you, and see where you're at, what kind of dog you have, all those kind of good things. And then it's up to the apprentice from there. There is no time limit on this program. It is strictly led by the apprentice. If you're somebody that, hey, I've got 50 recoveries, but I still, I would still like a little mentor's help, then you can do that, and you can progress through the program in just a few months. If you're brand new, you may be in it for a lot longer than that, but that's okay. It's all led by the apprentice. If you have the time to devote, if you have the miles to put in, if you put in the work behind your dog, you're gonna soak this up, and you're gonna be through it in no time. And it's just gonna make you a better tracker in the end. So the manuals that we refer to, Kenny is currently working on getting these put on. Sorry, the kids are screaming. Getting these put on the member site. So the mentor will have one, and the apprentice will have one. The mentors is strictly so they know what the apprentice has access to, what they're covering. So when they call with a question, the mentor will know exactly what they're referring to. They'll go through that, and we have some videos that I put together in there, some that Matt sent about using a Garmin, things like that. I mean, it just covers from the basics all the way up to Garmin to the dog tray. It covers all of that. There's some good scent videos we put on there, so I'm really excited to get it out there and get it in y'all's hands. But being a new program, it's a process, so y'all just bear with us.
You mind if I share something on that?
Sure,
So
go ahead.
I do want to share. It's a new program for the ABTA, but a lot of this has been executed in other states. So I don't want people to think that you know, we're just throwing something together. I mean, there is some experience behind this.
Oh yeah, there is there is experience behind it, and you know, even if we were the pioneers, which we're not, and that's okay. It still wasn't thrown together. It was done very very thoughtfully, and and it will evolve. Emily said it. This is our maiden voyage, and we should be looking to evolve and adjust as needed from lessons learned. If we are so close-minded to think we got it perfect right now, well, we're in big trouble. And
Right.
the ABTA has reached its peak. That's not who we are, and that's
No,
not
this is taking it to the next level. I just want to say that,
yeah.
there is a solid foundation there that this was built on, built from.
Well, my apologies if I said something that made we have worked tirelessly to make sure that all the bases are covered and that everything is where it needs to be.
You didn't say anything, and you have no reason to
Yeah,
apologize.
no, you didn't say anything wrong.
Okay, I don't know. I do
Yeah,
sometimes.
You
So.
didn't say anything
No,
wrong. I wanted to, in
100% no.
case the people were out there wondering, do I want to get involved in something that, just kind of thrown together? No, this has been an ongoing process. You just take it to the next level.
Yeah, and it wasn't just thrown together. There was a lot of thought put into this and a lot of structure put into this. So it was not just thrown together. But go ahead, Emily.
I mean, that's all I had. I mean, does anybody have any questions about it?
Well, one thing I wanted to maybe, well, Megan, did you have anything you wanted to add before I start, hijacking it again?
I was just going to point out, with the applications that we've received for the apprentices, as well as the mentors who have volunteered, we already have people wanting to be an apprentice in 13 different states across the nation, which I think is remarkable. And we have mentors representing 6 different states. So obviously there's not currently really a mentor in each state that there is an apprentice. We are, still working on that and getting people matched up. But the goal of this is to be able to do it remotely if needed, but also be effective at the same time. So obviously, if there's somebody that's close that they can go and, do live tracks with their mentor, that would be ideal. But sometimes that's not really the case. So in those circumstances, the way it's set up is so that it can also be done remotely. You all the same processes, but like Emily said, it's really up to the apprentice to take the lead on a lot of it. But they have that person in their pocket if they need him, to call. Or if you live close to your mentor, you can go on a live track or lay practice tracks with each other. But I just think that with it being so new to already have apprentices in 13 different states, and some of them, there's multiple in several of those states, I just think that shows really that, something that is a need and a void that we're trying to fill to help these people really get to the next level where they're wanting to be. And I think it's amazing that the mentors that we have volunteered their time and efforts. This isn't a paid promotion. This is strictly voluntary. So I just want to give a shout out to the mentors and the apprentices who have taken that step to apply for it. I think it's really commending of them.
Yeah, that's for sure. And what the heck, I should have written down, Megan, because something you said sparked a thought. What the heck was I going to say? It'll come to me. But yeah. So
I'd like to add something.
Yeah, can you go ahead?
So in Florida, we've had an apprenticeship mentorship program for several years now, and same thing in Georgia. And after seeing Emily, what Emily and has done, put all this together, or the whole team, I should say. Florida and Georgia teams have elected to utilize this program moving forward this year. So I wanted to share that.
Oh, cool. So there's local networks that have chosen that require a mentorship program for the local network have chosen to adopt the ABTA's mentorship program to meet their criteria. Huh?
Yeah, I don't want anyone to think it was just because, of my involvement with this. It was the team. It was a team that, some of them aren't even active in this organization. They looked at it and said, yes, we want to do this. This is taking it to the next level.
Yeah, it's pretty good. And I know what I was going to say, Megan. You talked about remotely and stuff. So, yeah, I mean, the truth of the matter is, with the 13 states and whatever the number is, there were quite a few. When we first announced this and launched and shared the applicant the apprentice application link, I mean, it was, I think the next day, Emily saying, Matt, hey, we got to slow the roll, because there was just a big demand there, and in a good way. And as usual, Emily and the committee managed it masterfully, but it was a little bit of a shotgun blast for a second there.
Well, see, I kind of anticipated this. So I intentionally designed the program to where it could be done remotely if needed.
Yes.
So now the end goal is to have in-person, in-state, in-area mentors for apprentices, and we will get there. But just rest assured, the program is designed to go either way.
Yeah, 100%. And I'm glad you said that, because that's kind of where I was going to. There's going to be remote. It's just going to be, and it's okay. It can still be very effective. And like somebody's just commented here, you can have your mentor that helps you through and answers your questions about the educational material, situational circumstances. You can have those conversations, but then you can partner with another local tracker and share those lines, run lines together. I mean, just because you're in the ABTA mentorship program does not mean that you can't take any knowledge, information, or mentorship from anybody else either. Of course not. Exposure is good. And oh, by the way, you can learn. I had one of my all-time favorite bosses, and he and I are still dear friends. He's a 25-year retired sergeant major from the United States Army. He says you can learn from good leadership and bad leadership. And he's so right. You can see somebody who's like doing something that isn't quite right, for lack of a better word, and you can learn from that, or you can see them do something and then see the result or the effect and learn from that. My grandpa used to say, learn from other people's mistakes. So you can learn from everything if you approach it with an open mind, and in the right perspective. So yeah, absolutely 100%. It can be done remotely, and will be done remotely a lot, but that does not mean you can't have local engagement either. So one of the things that I wanted to talk a little bit about is to help so people can get a feel for the flavor of the educational material. It isn't in essence an online curriculum. Right? They can go to the platform and click through these instructional documents, and at their leisure, and go back and do it as often or as infrequently as they please. So that stuff is always at their fingertips, and they don't have to go back. Where did I save that file? No, it's this link, and it's through this progressive curriculum. Is that right?
Yes. You can access any part of it at any time.
Yeah. And And again, I've seen it. It's pretty good stuff. In fact, I was kind of pulling it up.
There's also forms on there, like intake forms for when you're talking to hunters to get the information that you need. The track log about, the track details after you've gone on it to fill out, and a tracking agreement that you would potentially sign with people that you're tracking for. So it really encompasses, once you do start doing public tracks, is it set up for people who are starting, doing friends and family tracks all the way through, like Emily said, more seasoned people who, take 50 tracks a year. It's set up for every stage, no matter what stage that you're at. And it gives you those tools all the time. So you can just log in if you have, oh, I forgot what they suggest about the wait times for a liver shot. You just pull it up and go to the liver shot section, and it has a breakdown of, wait times and the differences to look for as far as sign with the blood, and, talking to the hunter about the deer reaction. It really breaks down everything. Emily did a wonderful job at really putting a lot of detail, but important detail in there where it's not overwhelming, but it's the right information that you should have available to you at any time.
Yeah, and those the track log, for example, those are things that the mentor is going to receive from the apprentice when it comes time, and the mentor thinks that the apprentice is ready. They're going to do a review on the apprentice. Well, part of that review is going to be the track log. It's going to be, okay, the mentor was consulted about this, and here was the outcome of it. What did we learn? And all of that is going to be taken into account before it's submitted to the committee for review. That's trying to think of what else is in there. Megan, you took notes on what all's in there.
Well, I'm looking at the onboarding package now, Emily. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
I can. What I was going to do. Let me go back where I can actually see you guys.
Oh, well, one thing, and also there's basically a satisfaction survey that everybody is going to fill out, because this is the new program and we want to fine tune it for the spring, after the season. We want your feedback on it. We want to know what worked for you, what didn't work, what you thought was valuable, what you think is missing. We want to know, because next spring we want to come out guns blazing and get this thing fine tuned.
Yeah, and that's just part of the continuous improvement efforts. That feedback is valuable. All feedback is valuable. But let me just look through. So I'm in the folder, Emily, with the onboarding packet, and this is in that folder on the drive. I want to make sure that I'm speaking to this accurately, but ABTA mentorship onboarding packets. That is what the apprentice and the mentors can expect to receive once they're accepted into the program. Is that right?
That's correct.
So let me just kind of walk through, and I'm not going to walk through each document, but I'll just hit the titles of the documents, and then to give the people a feel for the flavor of the types of things that we're covering. So it's the ABTA mentor checklist. So that's a document for the mentors, just kind of giving them a few things to check off as they work with their apprentices. A little guidance there. There's an apprentice education manual. Now here's one that I like. It's the core values. We do embrace core values, and we want trackers to at least have exposure to them. If they're part of the ABTA, that is who we are. But if you're not part of the ABTA, these are good things, and you should adopt your own core values if you don't want to adopt these. But the core values are important. The hunter intake form, which you just referenced. There's a mentor education manual. Again, another resource to help guide the mentor through all of the topics and categories and things to be sure that you're working with your apprentice on. There's the mission statement. So we have core values. Now we have the mission. There's a preseason prep document, some guidance on how to prepare for the season. Then there's the track. A guide for the apprentice on track management and things like that. I just opened it up. Number 1, gather essential information from the hunter. 2, contact your mentor. 3, confirm legality. 4, track preparation. So again, some really good, not fluff, but some good depth of content there. And again, not every single thing, maybe a mentor or an apprentice is going to say, yep, I'm going to do this step for step. But by and large, if you can pull something together and assemble your own approach, and everyone's going to develop your own approach, but and these are resources for you, then that's the intent. Then you get the tracking log. Then there's a welcome letter for the apprentice and a welcome letter for the mentor. That's everything that's in the mentorship onboarding packet. That everybody's going to receive. So it is it's pretty comprehensive, and it will continue to develop and evolve as we receive back and we get through the season.
I just want to add to that you can apply. It's a live deal. As soon as you apply, it sends us your application. So if you're wanting to become a mentor, or if you're wanting to join the apprenticeship program before, the seasons get started, so you have a good foot on the ground, anytime you can apply and it goes, that information gets sent to us, and we're pretty quick about going through them as far as accepting the applicants or not accepting, whatever the case is. And then you get matched with a mentor. I think we still have a few that haven't really been solidarily matched as of right now. We're working on that process, but the vast majority of the applicants that we have already been matched with a mentor. So they're moving into the next steps of the program before hunting season gets started. But if you want to apply, I saw some comments in there. If you want to apply, just go to the website, and the application link is there, and it sends us all that information directly.
Kenny, speaking of website, there is a comment. Is the new site, when is that going to go hot? Right now, the AmericanBloodTrackers.org still links to the old site.
Yeah, I did that for one more day because people were still trying to get through because of the holidays. So when I get done tonight, it will transfer the old domain to the new domain. I was going to do it last night, but I'm not going to call out Ryan Davis. I had to walk him through the process. So
yeah, don't call out Ryan that he had to walk you through the process. We don't do that here. No, so let's take a minute. Let's put a pin in the mentorship and talk about the website. So we are launching the new website. In order for that to be effective, and everybody and current members to maintain their accounts and their membership, in the existing website under the membership area, there's a coupon code basically. So you go to that, you grab that coupon code, and then you can log into the new forthcoming website, which is also a link there, and create your account in a new website using that coupon code for $0 membership. It's transferring, transferring your account and your membership to the new website. And we ask you to do that because we don't have the resources for somebody to sit there and go through the thousands of members and do it manually. So, we want to have you help us the best you can by transferring your account. So, again, so tomorrow, later tonight, you're gonna make the new site hot.
Yeah, later tonight, the old one will go away. Your login that you use for the website currently will not work. You are going to have to create a new account. You're going to have to use that coupon code unless you want to donate another $25. You're more than welcome to, but if not, use that coupon code. So once that transition is made, the old site will no longer be there.
Okay. Yeah. So listeners, if you haven't, please, go do that. The new site is pretty cool, man. It's really neat. It really, it's just pretty cool. And I'm excited for it to go hot.
The other thing I want to add, Matt, on the new site, we have a map for our trackers who have passed one of our tests. So as certified teams, you can add yourself to the map. Please use your name. If you use your tracking business or name, we don't know who you are, so you won't get approved. Make sure you use your name. Make sure you enter in your city, state, or wherever, because I've had people from, I'll just say like Georgia, just put in their street number and their street name, and it shows their marker in Iowa. So, make sure all that works out right. And it will take us time. Those we will manually approve. So it will go into a pending status while we verify that you are a legitimate certified team. So it may take a day or so. If you entered in your tracking team's name and we don't know who you are, it's not being approved. So you need to go re-enter.
Yeah. So let's just kind of recap that. So once you're in the new website, we have the tracker map. In order to be eligible to be placed on the tracker map of the nationwide tracker map, you have to be an ABTA certified team. You can enter your own information to be pinned on the map. So once you have created your account on the website, you go into your once you have your account, you will have a member's dashboard. You go into your dashboard, is very evident. You go into your dashboard, and there will be a tab on there for you to add yourself to the map. When you add yourself to the map, we're not promoting tracking services here. The name of Tails on Trails deer tracking. We are certifying, or we are listing Matt Berger in Jackson, Michigan. So it's important that you use your name, your full address, not the greater Jackson area or on Springport Road. Your full address. That stuff.
Well, they can put the pin nearby if they don't want to list their address.
Oh yes, of course.
But at least make sure it's nearby.
Yeah, you know what? And I think I think you're right. When I did that, I think I just listed the zip code because I don't want people necessarily driving to my house. So you're right about that. I apologize. You're right. But the point is, use your name. You use an address that reflects where you are, more so than a street name. Zip codes really works good. And then you have to be verified. That's a manual process. We verify that you are indeed a ABTA certified team, and if that's the case, then you'll go on the website. So you'll go on the tracker map on the website. It's pretty neat. You can upload. Can we still upload a picture, Kenny? Did we get that glitch fixed?
I haven't. I've been working with the hosting company to try to get that fixed.
Okay, so that it will get fixed sooner or later, but don't get too upset if your picture's not there. There's some technical thing that distorts it and makes it weird. I think there are a couple pictures. Some of the initial.
I removed all those just to.
Oh, you removed all those too. Okay, so there are no pictures anymore. So, and the other thing is, just remember, it takes a day or so. So don't play the Matt Berger, Lyle Avis game of that pin's not there and then enter it again. Why is it not there? And then enter it again. Because Kenny didn't tell us, bros, it takes a minute. I got to do it myself. We didn't know that. We thought it was automatic. So that's Mullen's fault as usual, but
No, it's spelled out on there. Someone didn't read.
no, it's not. Okay, so we're holding Emily and Megan hostage and mentorship stuff.
Well, it kind of goes hand in hand because we're going to have a mentorship dashboard. It's actually already created. We just need to add a few things to it.
Yeah, and that membership dashboard is where, if I'm not mistaken, is where the apprentices will access the link to the training material. Is that right? Yes.
I didn't know who you were asking, so
yeah,
I was waiting on Kenny.
Kenny, is that right?
yes,
Yes.
Whatever Emily tells me to put on there is what will be on there.
Okay.
That's my answer.
That and by the way, that's the right answer. Just do it. Just do whatever Emily has said. But no, it's good. I don't even know the platform, but it's cool. It's good stuff. So now, if you're interested in being a mentor, there's a couple of comments here, and we'll grab a few comments. But if you're interested in being a mentor, there's an app. Reach out to Emily or Megan. Emily's email is emily@unitedbloodtrackers.org, and what?
I don't have an email.
No, Emily at AmericanBloodTrackers.org. I'm sorry.
Briar
I
Tracker.
saw the horror on your face. It's not a
Well, I
bad.
asked about that the other day. I was like, does that mean I get a cool fancy email? But I don't. My email is briartracks@gmail.com. If anybody needs to reach out to me, feel free to do so.
So you get a free plug.
Gmail.com. What's that, Kenny?
I said she got a free plug out of not having the email.
Yeah. briartracks@gmail.com for Megan, and Emily at AmericanBloodTrackers.org for Emily, if you're interested in either the mentorship or application or the apprentice application. So I will go. Yeah, I feel a little silly now. Thank you, Emily. for
Payback.
Hey, I also want to apologize. When I switched over from my phone to the computer, it killed it on our YouTube. So we'll have to get you to upload this to our YouTube afterwards, Matt, if you don't mind.
Oh no, not a problem. Not at all. I'm no, yeah, that's no problem at all. Is there anybody in Van Buren County, Bob? No, not yet, but
I don't even know where that is.
Van Buren County, Michigan. It's in the southwest corner of the state. We do have another applicant down there in Eau Claire, whatever county. I don't have my Michigan County map. Whatever, I can't remember what county Eau Claire is in, Bob. But there is another guy down there, but we can connect you with. There's going to be a couple of Michigan mentors. So although it's South Haven, okay, yep. Still south-ish west, certainly West Michigan. But yeah, Bob, there'll be two Michigan mentors. And again, not that we're 5 minutes apart, but you'll certainly you'll be in good hands if you apply, Bob, with whoever you get. Courtney DeMello says, when do we have to have our accounts opened on the new website?
Yesterday.
Yesterday, but if you couldn't do it yesterday, Courtney, now also works. But now it's already another now. So the point is, quickly, Kenny's going to turn on the new site tonight, I think.
I mean, I could wait till tomorrow morning if people need more time. That's not a problem.
Why don't you wait till tomorrow morning to allow people to watch the stream and catch this and get in there and do it. But go do it before tomorrow morning. Kenny gets up early, trust me.
I was just going to grab this comment by Chuck. I don't know if you guys saw that or not, but it says, is the mentorship going to be one-on-one or have multiple apprentices? So right now, if you are a mentor, you can decide, how much you can handle. If you can take on, 2 or 3 people, that's wonderful. Or, one person that's a totally new beginner, one person that's an intermediate, if that's a little bit more manageable. It's really just based on what you can personally handle as far as how many apprentices are under each mentor. So that is something that we've been working with. Several of them have multiple people, and then there'll be some that only have one. It just kind of depends on what your availability to that apprentice would be in order to decide that.
Yeah, I mean, I've had 4 or 5 in 1 year before, and it worked out.
Yeah, I mean, you also have to remember all of the education material is already provided to them. So questions about answering questions, taking calls about tracks, things like that would be the main workload of it. There's not going to be a whole lot.
Yeah. Now, I would say that the mentor should invest a little bit of time in reviewing that educational material too, so they know what the apprentice is getting. They can acclimate themselves to it and be prepared to speak to it and perhaps even add to it. And that's the other thing. Talking about suggestions and input. We welcome that from both mentors and apprentices. The education material say, hey, I wish we had a segment on this. For heaven's sakes, let us know so we can build that out if it fits, and if you're looking for it, it would fit. But at the same time, we can't do every little thing. Some of that stuff can be handled by the mentor and just in mentorship conversations. But if it's notable enough, we're not opposed to, as I'm putting words in Emily's mouth, we're not opposed to building out a segment for that if it makes sense to do so. Because that's the only way you get better. So.
That's right. I see Michael Beck said, sign me up.
Yeah, so did Chuck Darby as a mentor. Now, one thing that I think is probably important is, if you run a Kerr or a Catahoula, you're not eligible to be a mentor.
Yeah, because you don't have to train them; they just do it on their own. So you can
all right, that backfired. I'm so teasing. Guys, I'm so teasing about that. Yeah.
Emily knows. I
know Emily's got beautiful Catahoulas.
Well, Megan's learning.
Megan knows. I mean, she's on the top of the mountain with me with the bloodhounds. We got it.
You forgot about the Catahoula.
We don't look down on you. We extend a hand down to help lift you. We're not.
You forgot about the Catahoula. So now she's going to extend the hand down to lift you up.
I took Sam on a little track yesterday, and he did pretty good. I'm not going to lie. I was pretty proud of him. Mostly his recall, because we started with that. So he definitely has a better recall than my bloodhounds, but he did a good job yesterday.
Because they're smarter.
No, they're just less driven. Don't care much about the trail as a bloodhound does. Oh, it wouldn't be the same if we could not get our breed banter in on a stream.
Yeah, we got to have Larry Beckham back on because he started with a bloodhound.
Yeah,
and now he has a lab and a Teckle.
And a Teckle, yeah.
Yeah, that way he can share the truth.
Beck, yeah, Michael, go fill out an application. Do you need the link? If you need the link, let us know. Emily, or I can message you the link to apply as a mentor.
Yeah, just shoot me an email and I'll get it to you.
Yep. I'm going to have to do it when the podcast ends, I presume you were saying. Apparently I didn't follow directions and didn't know I needed to. Courtney says, talking about the website. You're fine, Courtney. I'm reading the comments from top.
Don't let her off that easy.
What's that?
Don't let Courtney off that easy. Well, she has a lab. She's good. Never mind.
Okay. Slade's Whitetail Recovery. As an officer, there is a way to set up an agent to vet names against your list of tested teams to lift the workload off those manually doing it, making an automated process. Yeah, I was thinking about that, and it doesn't mean we won't get there just right now. It's not there.
Well,
go ahead.
Most everything is automated except that, and that's because we have to reference back to the list to ensure that they're certified. So that part won't be automated, but everything else is on the new site.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of automation done. Oh yeah, Slade's Whitetail Recovery said, ignore mine. Then I was playing with it and put my info in. Wasn't aware that it was for tested teams. Oh, okay, yeah. You might have been one Slade's Whitetail Recovery that Kenny was asking if anybody knows this person because you didn't show up on the list. Jason Smith says, jam up job on the new site, by the way, Kenny.
Thank you. I have about, I don't know, over 100 hours in it. It's been a monster.
Yep. Yeah, every year, Perry Lawrence, every year I get hunters who have no idea what we do. Well, that's pretty common, Perry. As ubiquitous as we are on social media, there are still hunters that just don't understand, and that's okay. I mean, their world is shooting deer and tracking them by eye, not all of the nuances of dog tracking. And it and the truth of the matter is most of the hunters don't need a dog, but when you do, you do. And so they just don't have the exposure. But boy, are they often happy when they do find out about dog tracking and have one help them. Yeah, Ryan Davis says, I've been trying to educate our hunting community on how these dogs are trained. It is taking a bit, but they are starting to get with the process a bit. Yeah, I've had it's funny you say that, Ryan. We all know it's no secret that I'm friends with the curator of the Michigan Deer Hunters Facebook page, and he promotes dog tracking. He was at the Michigan event. He got to see kind of a behind the curtains and the depth of what dog tracking is about and the work that goes in and the off-season training that goes in. So, he openly shares that on the Michigan Deer Hunters tracking page. Well, he recently shared a tracking list, just to share it with his over 100,000 followers, not all of which are Michigan followers, but just shared the list, making information available should anybody want or need to use a tracking dog. And it just bums me out. By and large, it was very well received. There were some questions and comments. I was able to chime in and answer some. But there were also some comments that bummed me out, where people, comments such as, if you're either a terrible hunter or even, a terrible shot if you need to use a dog to find your deer. And geez, that's not necessarily true. It's not true. Yes, maybe you are a bad shot, but that's not the only reason you need a dog. There are a long list of things that can happen outside of the hunter's control that can render a deer unable to be tracked by eye. There's no shame in wanting or needing a tracking dog. In fact, it's very responsible and it's very beneficial and ethical if you're putting forth every effort to recover that animal. And those are the things that bother me when people, it's just the classic social media thing. We kind of talked about it a little bit. Someone has a different opinion or perspective than yours, then that means you're wrong. Well, we're not wrong. And if you don't want to use a tracking dog, you don't have to call one. But if somebody else does want one or need one, that's okay. At least they recovered their deer. What I tell people is if they get really crabby about it, first thing I say is, well, you better save my number. I've never needed a tracking dog. Yeah, neither. You better save my number. Let's see. Anybody want? Let's see. Anybody see any comments you want to grab? Michael,
Looks like we have a few people that have commented that are actually part of the apprentice program. Wesley said, I'm really excited to have the support of a mentor through this program. Looking forward to seeing some of you guys in Iowa and also the extra few days off from work. So welcome, Wesley. Thank you for chiming in and being part of this kind of pilot program with the ABTA.
Yeah.
Again, if you have any feedback, as we progress through this starting, please provide it, because that's how we're going to build, a bigger, better program, is through everybody's feedback, getting started and getting off the ground.
Wesley, you're testing in Iowa too, so it's time you better start getting your game face on, buddy. Got a little bit of time, but you'll be all right while you're putting in the work. Let's see what Ryan Haley. You may have already covered this. Sorry if you have, but when or how do we get the info packets? I've signed up as an apprentice and already been paired with a mentor, but I've not seen anything on the info packet. We already tracked during the velvet season in Tennessee, and archery opens the 27th of September.
So we're still in the process of getting everybody paired up. We had some new mentors sign up today, so we're having to kind of readjust that. So it's that process, and then once I tell Kenny what all to put on the what is it, Kenny? The mentor area on the website.
Yeah, the mentor dashboard, mentorship dashboard.
Yes, that. Then y'all will all get the information for that. It is a process. But we're working hard to make sure it all gets done here pretty quick, because I know we're running out of time. We're trying to get it all done before the season kicks off.
Yeah, I mean we're on the heels. Ron Richter says here early on that we're 8 days away in Michigan. They're 3 days away in Maryland. 27th of September. They're for Ryan in Tennessee. Florida's parts of Florida are already, which still baffles me. Arkansas has got velvet sea. Yeah, we're there, man. I'm getting goosebumps. I'm getting so fired up thinking about it. But so Emily, how will they be received? Will you be distributing the welcome packets, or is that going to be the mentor's responsibility? How are the welcome packets being distributed?
Well, the way I've been doing it is just directly emailing everyone myself.
Yeah. Okay.
Me and Megan, as far as, hey, welcome to the program. Here's the plan, and also going to plan hopefully a call with all the mentors and then all the apprentices, maybe this week or early next week, to kind of answer any questions, and we'll have everything distributed, Lord willing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a whirlwind. I mean, Emily, I've seen some of your stress as you've been in stress of love as you pulled this all together, because you were drinking from a fire hose because it was so well received, and I suspect we'll get another little inrush of applicants after tonight. So one thing I'm going to ask people is be patient, because this part can't be automated. And Kenny, I want to read a comment about the automation here in a minute, but this part can't be automated. It's Emily and Megan doing the lion's share of the heavy lifting for this work, for this program. So, and we want, like Emily said, we want to get things matched up. We want to get the information out, because we can smell the season. And once the season starts, we are trackers. That we are going to track. We're not going to be coming home and denying tracks, so we can hop on, check our emails and send out we're going to track. Not that we won't do both, but we're going to track. So our availability is going to become much more limited here as we hit as the season opens in the various states. Kenny, Slade's Whitetail Recovery says, I can talk more offline on automating the map process if it helps. The automation you reference list would be integrated so that only approves the right folks. Just let me know, John Slade. So
yeah, we'd have to switch programs because it's not available with our current program.
Okay, so it's availability of the platform. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, John, thanks, man. Do appreciate
But maybe there's a platform that might work. I tried one other one and it was a nightmare. Wasted money on it. Went with this one because it was pretty simple. And I mean, it's a task at the beginning, adding all the names, approving, but after that, it's going to trickle down.
Hey, Matt, I just saw this from Michael come through. Question, will the mentoring interfere with being able to judge the prospective teams? That's a great question. Kenny, Emily?
Well, you're not actually training the dog.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I was going to say. That's my take on it.
There's no monetary exchange or.
Yeah, you're not training. You're just helping provide guidance. So that is a good question, though, Michael. But I would agree with that. I think that's fine. Yeah, Wesley, we're ready to rock the test as best I can prepare. We never had any company while tracking, so that's my biggest concern, distraction. Oh, that's okay, Wesley. I'll just make sure that if I'm your judge, I'll bring my Dick Van Dyke one-man band outfit, and it won't be a distraction at all. I'm teasing you, buddy. You'll be fine. I'm willing to bet you'll be fine. We can manage it. Just want a clarification, Michael says. Okay. Tom Hill, early season open here in Mississippi next weekend for the velvet season for 3 days. Yeah. Kevin Wilkie, what is ABTA's overall goal? Well, I guess, Kevin, I would be interested in what you mean by that, but I will tell you, if you go read the mission statements and the guiding principles, that's our goal. Our goal is to be available and provide training, education, and certification to the tracking community, in an ethical and meaningful way. Like I said in the intro, the only way we know how with no politics. I'm interested if you meant something specific by that or just in general. But I think if you go to the website and read the mission statements, I think that's going to cover it.
Yeah, so I'll go ahead and read a couple of things if you don't mind.
Please do.
Right off the website, it says the American Blood Trackers Association was founded to raise the bar for wounded game recovery and for the people and dogs who do it. We're a national organization who certifies trackers, mentors, hunters, and educators working together to improve recovery rates, promote ethical tracking, and build the next generation of handlers. And then our mission statement is to raise the standard of wounded game recovery by building a nationwide network of proven trackers, teams who train with purpose, test with integrity, recover ethically, and mentor the next generation.
Hence the mentorship program. But yeah, I mean that in general, he says in general. Yeah, I mean that's really it, Kevin. I hope that answered your question, but. We're just a bunch of people who are pretty passionate about tracking and developing and sharing information to help make people better. Let's see, Wesley, we're ready for for what has best as I can prepare for now. My biggest concern is having the judges following along. We've never had company, and I'm slightly concerned about him being distracted. Yeah, it'll be okay. It'll be okay, Wesley. You know, have your neighbor follow you on your next practice line or something, just so it's not going to be weird that there's two people there, maybe three if there's but it'll be pretty unintrusive. I'm willing to bet things are going to be just fine. Any other comments you're seeing, Megan or Emily? You want to grab any and we don't have to artificially drag this out either. I mean, this has been a really good discussion.
There was one earlier. I just wanted to touch on it. Asked if the Pennsylvania state group was going to be adopting this. I'm assuming he meant, like Kenny mentioned earlier, like Florida and Georgia have a similar program, and those, I may be wrong, but are probably going to be adopting this. I don't know how to answer that. If you guys want to touch on that.
That's a question for that state network.
That's what I was going to suggest is get with your state.
I'd contact Lauren or Bob.
That's a network thing. So Christopher Shrewsbury says definitely can be a benefit from this in West Virginia. We don't have anything like this. We don't have many trackers anyway. Yeah. Here we go with the bloodhound stuff, Michael Beck says. Well, Michael, thank you for recognizing what right looks like, brother. Sign me up to be a mentor, Emily Nail. That's Michael. You'll we already talked about that. All right.
And Dylan just asked, that last comment says, with deer season kicking off across the country, is there a set date that the live streams will end or pause for the season?
No, and Kenny's been on me about that since February, about making sure that we bank some content to share during the tracking season. So Dylan, the live streams aren't necessarily going away. They may take on different forms at times. Because like I said, we are going to track, but we're going to have something out there. It may be reruns, it may be best ofs, it may be bringing up some audio content that you can listen to. We may go live on impromptu on a drive to and from a track. We sort of joke about doing it live on a track. I just don't see that happening. For me anyway. Kenny, you can slip and fall in the alligator. No, I know you have. For me on a track, when I slip and fall, we're going to have an editor with a finger on the beep button. Or if I happen to have to be on lead and I'm getting tangled up all the time, I can't be responsible for the things that come out of my mouth in those situations. Live stream from the woods, Clayton. Yeah, we talked about it. Maybe. Courtney, I've updated on the new website. Thank you. And clearly labs are the best. Well, Courtney, so you messaged me today, Courtney, about your certificate and your ribbon. I'm not sure that we're going to send it now after that snooty little comment. I'm teasing you, Courtney. And I got to reach out to, I got to send, thank you for making me think of that, Courtney, because I do have to send Kayla a note. She's working on that stuff. There was a backlog, and she's climbing Mount Everest in flip-flops right now. Kelly York, Kenny, so I've tried to log into the new site, but can't seem to get logged in. What might I be doing wrong? Logged in on the old site, no problem.
You must have missed the part where I said you cannot use your same login information. You have to create a new account. It's a completely different website.
Yeah. So Kelly, grab that in the new website. Grab that in the member section. Grab that that coupon code for membership. Go to the new website and create account or whatever the trigger is, but you got to create an account there, buddy. And then you use that coupon code for the $25, and you won't be charged. Oh, I knew there was something. Yep, there you go, buddy. Yep. Okay, well, guys, look, I think this was a good conversation, man, and the mentorship program is up and running, and we're working through it. And I just want to reiterate again the work that Emily and Megan and the committee have, and other supporting cast members have done for this mentor program is something to be emulated. And I mean that with all sincerity. I have the benefit of being able to, watch it develop and see the documents as they're being developed and see them now in their totality. And to some degree, it's a little bit overwhelming. There is a lot of stuff there, but when you peel it back, it's not. It's just reference material. But it is very good stuff. And I look forward to what this, how this evolves, because it's only going to get bigger, stronger, and faster. And, and it's something to be proud of. So Emily, Megan, and everybody who contributed, congratulations, man. Be proud of what you've accomplished here, because I sincerely mean it when I say you've really done something. You've done something very meaningful here.
Well, it's just a start. I'm looking forward to what the future holds.
Absolutely.
Emily, was that little grin I saw, was that you reading Lee Terrell's comment?
Yes.
Got some dog in you, DAWG. Got some dog in you.
Someone's been around Ethan.
Yeah. That's funny. All right, guys. Well, last thoughts, Megan?
I touched on earlier the amount of states, but I just wanted to highlight the states that we currently have mentors in real quick.
Yeah.
That way, if you're in these states, or if you're in a state that's not represented, please consider putting in an application. So right now we have mentors in Florida, Georgia, Arkansas, Alabama, Wisconsin, and Michigan. So if you're in a state that you did not hear and you're interested in becoming a mentor, like I said, the amount of apprentices that we have are a lot more widespread. So please consider it, put in an application, or if you want to be an apprentice, again, website, application. I don't want to read all those states because there's like 13. So we'll just leave it at that. But those are the states we have represented with mentors currently. And if your state's not on that list, get on it.
There you go. I like it. If you're not there, get on it. We are keeping track. Emily, final thoughts?
Just exactly what Megan said. If you're interested in becoming a mentor, but you want some more information, shoot me an email. I'll give you a call and we can talk about it.
Yep. Kenny?
Really don't have much. Kind of sidetracked working on this with John Slade.
Yeah, no, way good, man. And so cool. Well, guys, again, I appreciate it. We got, believe it or not, next week we won't be scrambling for a topic. We had to do some the Venetian waltz today, as we were not sure. But thank you, Megan and Emily, for coming on in very short notice to talk about the program that you have masterfully developed. Next week we have another guest that the topic is going to be very, very intriguing. I'm just going to put that teaser out there. I think it'll be a fun discussion. And then after that, we have another one. That I think people will enjoy, and I hope the next 2 weeks do spark a lot of conversation. So the next 2 weeks, good stuff. Iowa coming up. It's not too late to register for Iowa. Please do. I'm super stoked about how good I believe that one's going to be. The Iowa team's done a fantastic job, and then we're going into quasi hibernation as we come back and start chasing the trail. So, guys, appreciate everything. Viewers and followers, thank you for commenting. Appreciate your support. Share this around if you're interested in being a mentor or an apprentice. We told you who to get a hold of. So more of the good, less the bad, guys. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you so much, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Hang with me, guys.